What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to talk about some women's basketball. And that's what we're going to be doing in this stream. So I hope y'all are ready to go. Hope y'all are ready to go. Kentucky Ricky is ready to go. Okay. All right. This should be a fun day. And I hope y'all are ready. Good morning, Serenity. Good morning. All right. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. And as usual, we have themes for these episodes. And this one is sort of like, man, I'm just like, dog, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting a little ridiculous. And I got to talk about it. Okay, from injuries to a player that got waived that I'm just like, what? Scratching my head. What's going on? I'm very confused. I'm very confused. Very confused. And also, I'm confused about what's happening in the chat as well. Sierra, I don't know. Can you give exact examples? I don't have any. What you're saying and what you're talking about, I really don't. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Please give actual details. I'm very confused. I'm very confused. Like I really do want this thing. I really do want this thing to just be fun for everybody. Like I really do. This is basketball. This is not life or death or anything like that. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. And so, yeah, let's have a good time. Anyway, let's talk about what is happening in the world of women's basketball. Okay. All right, here we go. Another one. This is like what DJ Khaled, how he's like, DJ Khaled. Another one. We the best. Anyway, this is not that laughing of a matter because we have another severe injury in the WNBA. This time to Katie Lou Samuelson. Katie Lou Samuelson is out for the rest of the 2025 WNBA season. She is sidelined with a torn ACL that she suffered during training camp. This was supposed to be a very good season for Katie Lou Samuelson. She didn't have the best of seasons last year with the Indiana Fever. And she was looking to be a really solid key piece in the rotation for this Seattle Storm team, right? Katie Lou Samuelson at her best is a sharpshooter. She's a vet who could add some much needed spacing on the floor for Seattle coming off the bench. But instead of backing up Seattle's stars, Katie Lou Samuelson will be hanging out on the bench because she has torn her ACL. She becomes the third Storm player to tear her ACL before the season even started. Now, guys, this is not bad luck. This is not just bad luck. This is becoming a pattern in the WNBA. I've talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to keep talking about it until these injuries start to slow down or until the WNBA actually decides to do something for it. Okay. And so we're gonna talk about that. So first up, what happened specifically to Katie Lou Samuelson? Well, it was reported by the Seattle Storm that Katie Lou Samuelson tore her ACL in her right knee during training camp on Thursday. All right, on Thursday, she tore her ACL. By Saturday, yesterday, the Storm confirmed that it is an ACL and she's going to miss the season for it. This is a tough blow for this team. Again, Katie Lou Samuelson, she was on maternity leave in 2023, came back in 2024. It didn't have the best season with the Indiana Fever. Before that season even started, the Indiana Fever signed her to a 2-year deal that was worth a little bit over $350K. But after this past season, they decided to have a buyout. They decided to have a contract buyout with Katie Lou Samuelson, where the Fever gave her $106,000 as a buyout. And then Katie Lou Samuelson was able to sign with whoever she wanted to. She decided to sign with the Seattle Storm and reuniting with a whole bunch of players she used to play with. Remember, she played at UConn, and so that there's a connection there. There's some former Sparks teammates that are now on this team, and so yeah, it was a bit of a reunion for a player like Katie Lou Samuelson, and really a good fit for her to be on the Seattle Storm team. And on media day, she was talking about, hey man, she was excited, right? This was where she wanted to be. This is where she felt comfortable being. Now her season's over before it even starts, which is not great, right? This injury does not happen in a vacuum, though, because there's three torn ACLs on this team. Katie Lou Samuelson joins Jordan Horston and Nika Muhl, two other Storm players who tore their ACLs this past offseason. Nika, her injury happened overseas in Turkey, and Jordan Horston, her injury happened during play with Athletes Unlimited. Now, Katie Lou Samuelson is hurt. That's 3 ACL tears on one roster. And this Seattle Storm team is already a bit shorthanded going into their preseason games because Ezi Magbegor, Gabby Williams, and Dominique Malunga will be out for rest. This is a team that brought 16 players into training camp, but got a little bit of a small margin of error for this team. This team opens up the season on May 17th. They still have their core players with a little tweak, right? Remember, guys, Jewel Lloyd was on this team last year, but there was a 3-team trade that led Seattle to get the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft, and Jewel Lloyd to go to the Las Vegas Aces. So even with that being said, they still do have a good core of players for Seattle. You have Skylar Diggins, not Skylar Diggins Smith anymore. It is Skylar Diggins only. Drop the dash in the Smith. We also have Nneka Ogwumike as well, who will be doing a lot of mentorship, I'm sure, to continuing the mentorship to Ezi Magbegor, but also to Dominique Malunga as well. You also bring in Alicia Clark, a vet's vet, someone who has been around for a long time and knows how to be on championship winning teams. You also bring over Lexi Brown from the LA Sparks, someone who, is when healthy can be a really good shooter for your squad. Of course, you have Ezi Magbegor, but as the year goes on, the thing I will be looking at with this Seattle Storm team is injuries. Can they stay healthy? Because right now, this team is getting shredded by injuries, right? Katie Lou Samuelson was supposed to be sort of like that small forward / at times stretch forward type of shooter who could give the team a good, 10 to 15 minutes a game. That's gone now. But again, let's zoom out because this is not an injury that just happens in a microcosm. Guys, here's the deal. Katie Lou Samuelson, the Seattle Storm, is not alone. Far from it. Here is the list. Here is the starting, we almost have a starting 5 of ACL tears this offseason. Now, this is just from the end of the WNBA season last year to now. Okay? We have Jordan Horston with ACL tear. Nika Muhl with ACL tear. Georgia Amoore, I just reported about her having an ACL tear. She was number 6 pick in the draft. What was the 3rd day of practice, ended up tearing her ACL. And now Katie Lou Samuelson. We have 4 players who are gone. 4. This is a trend in the WNBA, and this is a dangerous trend. The WNBA, for those who do not know, the WNBA this year has expanded it to 44 games this season. 44 games. This is the most that the WNBA has ever had in terms of games, like a lot of games, a whole lot of games. Meanwhile, you still have players who are coming into this year with a lot of minutes played, a lot of stuff happening. A lot of these players have played overseas, or they played in Athletes Unlimited or Unrivaled, or they're a rookie that just finished off playing a college season, right? You have a lot of things happening, and you have 44 games. You have an expanded playoffs, and unfortunately, I don't see these ACL tears leaving the game. This is not just a bad luck thing. This is something that will continue to happen. And something has to be done about it. Now, one good thing that is happening, not related to the WNBA, but can benefit the WNBA, is that FIFA is actually doing a study. They've launched a year-long study based in Kingston University in London to track the connection between menstrual cycles and ACL tears. They're going to be testing athletes' blood hormone levels throughout their cycle and cross-referencing it with injury scenarios like landing after jumping, cutting, on the move, sudden stops, or directional changes. Hopefully that does bring about some sort of insight that really would help a lot. We'll ultimately see what kind of happens from here. But again, at least something is kind of being done. There is a study that is in the works that will be looking at ACL tears for women, because this is going to keep happening, guys. We got 4 players since last year who have torn their ACLs. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. And especially with teams only having 12 players on the roster, like, this becomes a serious issue. So, Seattle, they gotta work through it. What does this mean for them now? Well, as before, they need to trim down their roster, right? They still have to figure out who exactly they want to cut. Now that Lou Samuelson is out, there is a door that opens for a wing to possibly end up making this team, which is good. You still have a lot of talent on the squad. And of course, I do think this team is absolutely going to make the playoffs. But the injury bug has already been affecting the Seattle Storm. And it's only just May, guys. And Eurobasket is coming up soon. That's one thing that you have to worry about. You're going to have some of these players gone for Eurobasket. And so that's another key piece. This is a team that's going to have to pace themselves so that way, hopefully they can, not only just make the playoffs, but make the playoffs and make some noise, because seemingly walking into 2025, it feels like Seattle is already in survival mode, but yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. Let's get to you all's comments again. This is a topic that I've been reporting about, but this is where we are. ACL tears are becoming far too common in women's basketball in the WNBA. And until something changes, maybe rest protocol, recovery protocol, real investments made in research on ACL tears, we're going to continue to see these things happen. We're going to continue to see promising seasons end before they even start. So, as I said with Georgia Amoore, what are we doing? Hey, we're sending love to Lou Samuelson. This sucks. Like, this is absolutely terrible. We're rooting for her. We're cheering for her that she ends up having a very successful surgery, that she is able to rehab and get back to where she was. This isn't great. But best of luck and support to Lou Samuelson as she deals with this. Okay? All right, let's get to it. All right, let's let's see what's happening. All right. Again, I do thank y'all so much for all the comments. I really do. I really do. Thank you all so much for putting comments in there. True, Tisha. True. Yeah. Lexi does not have like Lexi has a illness that is a thing. It's not that she's not constantly injured. Let me rephrase that. Lexi Brown is not a constantly injured player, but she is a player that has Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is a invisible illness. This is a illness that affects a lot of things. A lot of things, and it has led to the ending of her season early a couple of times. Like she's been dealing with Crohn's disease for a while now. She's been very public about it and about how that has affected her. It's one of those they call them invisible illnesses, invisible injury, because you don't really see anything, but it affects the person's whole body, and it has resulted in her sort of leaving a season early or two because her Crohn's disease flares up and whatnot. So yes, technically that is a illness. That is an illness that she has been dealing with for a long time. But when Lexi Brown is healthy, she is, or not when she's healthy, when she doesn't have a flare up of Crohn's disease, she can be a really good shooter in the WNBA. It's just a question mark of, will she be able to have a non-flare up year for the Seattle Storm? But yeah, Crohn's disease is a very serious thing that, again, it just sucks for anybody who has it. It is not great at all. At all. All right. Okay. C says ACL treatment has been improved leaps and bounds in the last decade. It has. But there needs to be more research done specifically on female athletes. Because from what I understand, a lot of the research that's done around athletes is done on males, which is fine and dandy, but there's physical differences that have to be looked at and researched. And I'm very, very much happy that FIFA is doing this study around ACLs specifically for women. This is a very important thing that needs to be worked through. It really does. It really, really does. All right. Ron says, "Dear Seattle, could I offer you a Marina Mabrey in this trying time? She is your 1 first-round draft pick." Here's the deal. I guarantee you, Seattle would love to get Marina Mabrey. Marina Mabrey is a shooter. Absolutely. She's a shooter. So yeah. That would be a good pickup. It's not gonna happen, but I think that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, so we go from one story to the next. Actually, we got a Denise is in the medical field. Okay. Says, yes, more research is needed on women. This is my field. I'm a medical anthropologist. Yeah, it's very much needed. It's very, very much needed. We also need more roster spots. Yes, that is correct. Shay, thank you so much for that super chat. Says, let's get the likes up. Yes, y'all, listen to Shay. Salute to you, Shay. Salute to you. Salute to you. Yeah, she's recovering. Yeah. Ashlyn Watkins is recovering. Yep. Frank says, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let them know Quita in the mornings is live every morning. Yes, Frank. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, and it involves a rookie named Shyanne Sellers. Because I saw some news yesterday that I was like, I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? The Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors. Oh my goodness. The Golden State Valkyries. Not the Golden State Warriors, but the Golden State Valkyries. Just waived Shyanne Sellers before their first preseason game ever happened. Yes, Shyanne Sellers, the 17th overall pick, the same player who I projected and a lot of other people projected to be a top 10 talent. The same 6'2" combo guard that shot 40% from the three last season with Maryland. Yeah. The player who did everything Coach Natalie Nakase asked of her to do. And they cut her. Already. So, what is going on in Golden State? And why does the coach's explanation make things a whole lot more confusing? Guys, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because yeah. First up, who in the world is Shyanne Sellers? Well, Shyanne Sellers is who I consider one of the most was one of the most versatile players in this previous draft. She is a 6'2" combo guard, which means she can play. She's mainly, I would consider, more of a shooting guard, but she can play the point and do a pretty good job at it as well. So she's a combo guard, someone who was the first player ever in Maryland history with 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists at the end of her career. This is someone who averaged 14.4 points a game this past season, 4.1 assists per game as well. She shot 40.8% from the three. This is someone who's been on the Big Ten all Big Ten first team for a couple times now. Was on the Big Ten defensive team as well. Was a previous Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year. This is someone who is not just good, but she's very good. The greatest thing about Shyanne Sellers, 6'2". Combo guard. She could play offense. She could play defense. She could do a little bit of everything on the court. She has good court vision for someone who's not naturally a one, right? Remember, she's a combo, not necessarily a straight up one, but for a combo guard, she has great court vision. She has great shooting abilities. She is someone who can defend multiple positions because of her size. And when she ended up slipping in the draft all the way to the 17th overall pick, I was thinking, wow, the Golden State Valkyries got a steal. They got a steal. And they were even kind of surprised that she was still available. Right? They wanted her because she's versatile. So, what changed? They were very excited after they drafted Shyanne Sellers. But with her being waived before she even played a preseason game, what changed? Well, I can tell you one thing that it was not, is that it was not the knee. Okay? So let's shut down the rumors right now. This was not about Shyanne Sellers' knee. This was not. This was not about her knee. All right? So like after it was found out that she got waived, I saw a lot of posts around her injury that she had In January, she had a PCL injury. In January, people were like, oh, maybe that's still a thing. Maybe that's is the reason why. But no, according to the Washington Post, Kareem Copeland, Shyanne Sellers passed all medical exams, both with Maryland and with the Golden State Valkyries. She was diagnosed with a sprain, in January, but she ended up finishing off the season with Maryland. And by training camp, she seemed to be moving fine, at least according to what people have said. This was not an injury issue. So it makes what Natalie Nakase said, the head coach of the Golden State Valkyries, it made what she said a little bit more confusing. So here's the quote of what she said. She said, quote, about Shyanne. She said, quote, she picked up everything we asked her to. She did everything we wanted. It's just that I have to choose the best 12 that are going to fit. Doesn't mean the most talented. So you see that comment and you're like, okay. So what? You draft her at number 17. She's healthy. She's versatile. She's doing everything you've asked her to do. And still, she's the first player you cut? I got a lot of questions. Stuff just doesn't seem to add up. What was the issue? Because according to this quote, talent wasn't the issue. Right? Again, here's what Natalie Nakase said. She said, Shyanne picked up everything we asked her to. She did everything we wanted. It's just that I have to choose the best 12 that are going to fit. Doesn't mean the most talented. Okay. I don't understand. Because let's be real, guys. This, unless something has happened that we do not know about, and I've seen some rumors online about stuff that could have possibly happened in the locker room or whatever. I'm not gonna address any of those because I don't know. I'm waiting to see a beat reporter that follows the Golden State team to say something around that before I actually make a comment about that. So I've seen people talk about stuff like that, but I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't know if there's any truth to it. I don't. All right. But what I will say is that this feels like a severe front office fumble. Okay, this feels like a big fumble. So either there was maybe a breakdown in communication between the GM and the head coach, or their scouting and overall roster planning was sloppy or something. Because if roster fit was an issue, because again, she said, it's just that I have to choose the best 12 that are going to fit, doesn't mean the most talented. So if roster fit was the issue, at least that's what Natalie Nakase seems to be saying, that was the issue, why would you draft her in the first place? Why? Golden State already had a ton of guards already, right? Tiffany Hayes, Kate Martin, Julie Van Loo, Veronica Burton, Caitlin Chen. Well, they drafted Caitlin Chen, but you get what I'm saying. But Shyanne Sellers gets waived as the first person to get waived. Right? It's wild. Because remember, guys, Shyanne Sellers is not just any guard. She's not. She's tall, 6'2". We have a lot of shorties in the WNBA, a lot of short guards in the WNBA. We got a lot of guards who are 5'10" and shorter. Shyanne is 6'2". She, again, I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. She shot 40% from the three at Maryland. She was one of the most well-rounded backcourt players in the entire draft. You don't throw away a player like that after a couple of practices. Not even a preseason game yet. A couple of practices. Right? It's been like 5 practices for her. Not unless you have, not unless you never had a plan for her to begin with. Like, maybe. And if that's true, if the Valkyries just took her because she just fell to 17 and didn't actually intend to keep her, well, you wasted your pick. You wasted your draft pick. So what's next? What's next for Shyanne Sellers? Well, Shyanne was on a non-guaranteed rookie deal, which all incoming rookies are on. So unless a team picks her up off of waivers, which they can do in the next 48 hours, and I have a team in mind that absolutely should pick her up. But unless a team picks her up in the next 48 hours off of waivers, Shyanne Sellers will officially become a free agent. All right? So that's the thing. Once a player gets waived, they get on waivers for 48 hours, and any other team can pick that player up with that existing contract. If no one picks them up, then the contract is scrapped. Now you are just a brand new free agent that can do anything, right? Here's the deal: the league is small, but talent like Shyanne Sellers does not go unnoticed. I'm telling you, teams are always looking for players that can contribute on both the offensive and defensive end, players who can run an offense if needed, players who can knock down a three-point shot, and that's what Shyanne Sellers can do. And she's going to be coming into a new team with a huge chip on her shoulder, because this, in my opinion, should have never happened. Her getting waived from the Golden State Valkyries, unless there's something that I don't know that happened, and I've seen some rumors and whatnot, but we don't know if those are true, so we're not going to talk about those. But I think this is crazy for someone of her talent. I think this is wild. Why draft her in the first place? What especially before your first game. I'm just saying. So, where to next for Shyanne Sellers? Where to next? I have 2 destinations that Shyanne Sellers should go to, right? Number 1, the Washington Mystics. I think the Washington Mystics should seriously consider picking up Shyanne Sellers off of waivers. Seriously, they need to consider that. I think this is a team that could absolutely use a combo guard like a Shyanne Sellers. Also, I would say the Connecticut Sun is another team that could benefit from Shyanne Sellers. So one of those teams, either the Washington Mystics or the Connecticut Sun in the next 48 hours, next 24 hours, I'm looking for both of those teams. I'm looking at both of those teams and saying, you know what? I mean, it would be kind of smart. It'd be kind of smart. It would be kind of smart for you to make the decision to get her off of waivers. I'm just saying. Like, seriously think about it. Because yes, there are other rookie guards that can score like Shyanne Sellers. There's other rookies that can do that. But what Shyanne Sellers can do on both the offensive and defensive end at her height, I think it's something that I'll be shocked if she clears waivers after that 48 hours is up and becomes a free agent. Seriously, somebody needs to pick her up ASAP. Because waiving a player like Shyanne Sellers this early with this much potential that she has, especially because she cleared, the physical and all that stuff, so she's healthy enough to play. Waiving her before she even steps foot on the floor in a preseason game is wild. It raises, in my opinion, serious questions about how the Golden State Valkyries front office is operating. And if they are actually building, if they're going to continue to go in this route, I just wonder like how bad will they be this season? Like I don't know. Like I don't know. It's gonna be it was already going to be a rough season for the team because it's a team that is a team without any real stars on it. They have really good role players on this team, but no actual stars on this team. But I'm curious to hear what you all have to think. Have to say, not. Well, what do you think actually? Let me know what you think by putting in the comments. Was this cut the right move by the Golden State Valkyries? Or do you think this was a major fumble for the franchise before their season even started? Let me know. Let me know in the comments about this. Also, if y'all could, please hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot, okay? All right, let's see what you all have to say. Timeout Sports says Storm could use her. I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think any team can use her, but I think the teams that need her the most, I would say, it would be Washington and Connecticut. Those are the teams that to me need her the most. But yeah, absolutely. Yes, the Seattle Storm could absolutely use her. Yeah. Black Denim says, yeah, definitely a fumble. Yeah, I don't know. Quinta's major fumble, hands down. Yeah, it's, Alex says, we don't know if it's a fumble yet. Yes, we're operating on the information that we actually know. All right. Lisa Anna says, the Sky need her too. Yeah, but the Sky already have too many guards. So yeah, sure. But you got to have to cut some players. You're going to have to cut some players. Panay is giving some information about Kaylin Chen. Says Kaylin Chen was the Ivy League's Player of the Year before Harmony Turner of Harvard won this season. She had a great season with Princeton before transferring to UConn for her final year of eligibility. Yep. Tinsia says, what happened to Shyanne Sellers happens every season. This is exactly why people shouldn't spread rumors. Coaches look at Coaches look at how a player fits into the system. Getting drafted doesn't mean anything. Well, yeah, getting drafted doesn't mean anything. However, I do think that there is like some pre-work that teams have that teams do. And yes, when you get drafted, that doesn't mean you make it, right? We have all had years where first round draft picks don't end up making the team. I just think for this one in particular, it just feels extra surprising. It feels extra surprising. But I will say this again: coaches and GMs have a hard job, and yes, we on the sidelines can criticize and say our opinions and whatnot, but we don't have the full story. Only they have the full story, right? But again, this is what Natalie Nakase said. She said Shyanne picked up everything we asked her to do. She did everything we wanted. It's just that I have to choose between the best 12 that are going to fit. Doesn't mean the most talented. So clearly, Shyanne Sellers is a top 12 talent on this team. However, maybe she just doesn't fit with the other players on this team. Maybe it's just her role, the exact role that she has played, that she feels comfortable playing. Maybe that's just that style doesn't fit. And I will leave with this. Here is one thing, one change of perspective that I want us to say. So yes, do I like this decision? From what I know, no. But I'm gonna say this. I believe I've said this in the past. I'm gonna say it now. sometimes getting waived from a team this early is a kindness. Here's the deal. We have gone through the first week of training camp. She's had 5 practices, and Natalie Nakase is like, you know what? It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. We need to make a decision. We need to part ways with Shyanne Sellers. Now, a positive about this is that Shyanne Sellers now has an opportunity to join another team in training camp. So yeah, another perspective is this is a kindness from the Golden State Valkyries, where after a couple practices, they were like, actually, we really like you. We think you're a very talented player, but it's just not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. So instead of wasting your time, instead of, still keeping you in training camp, letting you play in preseason games, instead of doing that, when we know we're not going to keep you, we're going to waive you. Because at least if we waive you now, you have an opportunity to join another team in training camp and work through some stuff with another team before the season starts. Because they could have waited until the day before the season started to cut her. And then it's a little bit too late. Not too late, but like it's a lot harder to join a team after the season started than to join a team in training camp. So another perspective is that this is a kindness. And this is actually like very great that they did this and did it this early. So that's a slightly nuanced perspective, and I wanted to just talk about it. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom at all. In a lot of ways, sometimes getting cut from a team is actually kind. It's actually the kind thing to do when you know the player is not going to make the team. Okay? All right. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the final story of the day, and it involves Betnijah Laney Hamilton. Betnijah Laney Hamilton, the star from the New York Liberty. Guys, looks like she's going to get her contract suspended. So, Betnijah Laney Hamilton is a champion. She is a two-way star, one of the vocal leaders of this New York Liberty team. And now, Betnijah Laney Hamilton is expected to have her contract suspended for the entire 2025 season. That is what Liberty GM. That's what the Liberty GM had to say. Jonathan Kolb. I'm just call him GM Jonathan. He says that more than likely, the team will suspend her contract. All right. And for some people who hear that and like, what? You're suspending Betnijah Laney Hamilton's contract? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Well, let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Let's talk about what happened, what is happening with the New York Liberty, and why they are going to be making this decision. They have not made it just yet, but they will. They do plan on suspending Betnijah Laney Hamilton's contract. So, why? Well, back in March, Betnijah Laney Hamilton was playing with Unrivaled, and she ended up getting hurt. And in March, the Liberty announced that Betnijah Laney Hamilton had to have surgery to repair a torn meniscus in her left knee. This was an injury that she suffered while playing in Unrivaled as a relief player. She was not even one of the original players in Unrivaled, but she was a relief player. Now, the meniscus surgery that Betnijah Laney Hamilton had, this was not a minor cleanup surgery like Breanna Stewart had, because Breanna Stewart also had a slight surgery after the Unrivaled season was over. But the difference is that Betnijah seemed to be like a full-blown repair. And so her timeline, instead of being a couple weeks, was 5 to 6 months. That pushes her recovery and return to, at best, August, at worst, September. So, could she theoretically be back for the playoffs? Sure, maybe. But let's be honest with you guys. That's a major, major risk for the New York Liberty to take, especially for a team that won the championship last year and is looking to repeat this year. And the Liberty GM made it clear that, hey, they need to be a fully formed team by September, not a team that is waiting and hoping for a player to get back from injury. All right. So now New York seems to be making that call, making the very, very tough call. They're expected to suspend Betnijah Laney Hamilton's contract for the season. So what does that actually mean? Well, a suspension means just that. It means that that she will not be with this team for 2025, or at least on the roster playing for this team for 2025. No, the Liberty are not cutting ties with Betnijah Laney Hamilton. This is more of a procedural move, not a punishment of a move. This is going to free up cap space. The reason for this is for cap space. This is a team that, again, as I said, they need to get back to a championship game. They need cap space. They also need roster flexibility. And by suspending her contract, they free up a roster spot. They also remove her $185,000 salary from the books, and they can use that money to get another player or another player to join this team, and probably more talented player to join this team, right? With that amount of money. And when they suspend her, instead of cutting her, they're suspending her contract. They're able to maintain exclusive negotiating rights with her in 2026, because we all know a lot of players are going to be free agents in 2026, and Betnijah Laney Hamilton is fantastic, and it does make sense to have her rights as we head into 2026. All right, let me just address something in the chat real quick. I don't know who's doing this, but y'all please listen to Tanisha. She says, "Will y'all stop calling players thugs?" Whoever's doing that, the problem is I don't see like all the chats come really fast and I can't really see all that stuff. So I don't know who is saying that, but please be respectful. Like, here's the deal, guys. Like, I don't understand. There sometimes it's just like a wave of like horrible speech that like I don't think people would say to actual people, right? Like I talk about people and talk to people like you would if they were standing right in front of you. If there is something that you would not say, to someone who was standing right in front of you, and actually not even that, because that's treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat your brother like yourself. I mean, I say brother. Treat your fellow human being like you would want yourself to be treated. Like, come on now. Like, let's grow up. Let's grow up. All right. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue on, and again, be respectful. Like, seriously, let's have different opinions and all that stuff, but like, let's be respectful. Like, I assume that everybody in this chat are adults. I assume you're an adult in this chat, and like, let's be actual adults, not immature. So I'm just saying. I don't know who said it. I don't know what's going on in the chat, but be respectful. Like, let's just let the name calling stop. Okay? Let's talk basketball. Okay? Okay. Let's continue on. All right, so the New York Liberty will keep the rights to Betnijah Laney Hamilton, which would be very important. Also, a thing to note is that I read that seems like Unrivaled is actually going to be covering her salary for 2025. So that's great. That's really, really great. So Betnijah Laney Hamilton will even though her contract is suspended, this is someone who will be able to make. She's still going to be able to make money because Unrivaled seems to be. It seems like they're going to be covering her salary. All right, and so that's really great. Okay, so according to this was an article I read in the New York Post. I'm going to quote it. But according to an article in the New York Post, it said that a Unrivaled source told the Post that they would cover Betnijah Laney Hamilton's 2025 WNBA salary if she ended up missing the year due to injury. And so, yeah, so that's great. That is great. So she will be getting paid for this year. That is the benefit of Unrivaled. Okay, so yeah, according to the New York Post, who supposedly talked to a Unrivaled source, that is the case. All right, so I think this is great. Now, yes, injuries happen. Injuries are a thing, but I think it's awesome that Unrivaled is like, you know what? You played for us. We appreciate you. We absolutely appreciate you. And we are actually going to, we're going to cover your salary. We are going to cover your salary, at least according to a Unrivaled source, according to the New York Post. So that's what they have said. I haven't seen anybody else say that, but yeah. Anyway, I think it's great that they're stepping up in that way. So make no mistake, this loss still hurts the New York Liberty. Yes, they do have another roster spot open. Yes, they do have that money that they were going to be paying Betnijah Laney Hamilton this year. However, Betnijah Laney Hamilton is one of one. She is a defensive anchor. She is a versatile player who usually was was guarding some of the best players on the opposing team. Right? She's someone who can score. In 2024, she averaged like almost 10 points a game, like 9.5 or something like that. 3.3 rebounds, 2.2 assists per game, while guarding, very, very tough players. And also, think about it this way. The New York Liberty, their best defensive players, in my opinion, last season was Betnijah Laney Hamilton and Kayla Thornton. Both of those players are gone. Well, Kayla Thornton is gone. Right, she's with the Golden State Valkyries, and you have Betnijah Laney Hamilton, who is going to get her contract suspended. That's two really good defenders gone from New York. But it's not all doom and gloom. New York does still have some good players. They do. They got Maureen Johannes, who has rejoined this team. They got Natasha Cloud. Rebecca Gardner is finally healthy, which is great. This team does have some good talent. Okay, they got some good talent. But a thing to remember, guys, is Eurobasket happens this year. Eurobasket happens. It's gonna take place. After the season starts. Eurobasket, which is where all the best teams in Europe play against each other to figure out what country is the queen of Europe, right? And these international players, really take Eurobasket serious. So New York will be without Leonie Fibic, Niara Sabli, and Maureen Johannes. They're going to be without those three players for a couple of weeks during the season due to Eurobasket. So that's something to keep in mind. And with that, I want to leave with this final topic. What makes all this sort of weaves all the stories that I talked about together. Here's the deal, guys. The topics I talked about today, and also the topics I'll probably continue to talk about as the season goes on. This is what makes WNBA roster building so difficult. Because you have 12 players maximum that you can have on a team. There is no injury reserve list. Every move that a team makes has weight. Every single player that is on the roster has weight. But Betnijah Laney Hamilton, you know, her injury history is real. She has had a lot of knee surgeries, right? A lot of knee surgeries. And possibly this, you know, being out for this season could maybe help to extend her longevity. Possibly. But this just is a reminder that these players, there's no real space for error, right? So that's why this New York Liberty team has a suspender contract and has to move on. That's why maybe Shyanne Sellers wasn't a great fit for the Golden State Valkyries. But if they had more players on the roster and not just 12, and if they had like some sort of like development league or like whatever, then maybe she can go there instead of getting cut, right? There is so many talented players who will start up this upcoming season and not be on a team. And the WNBA, with only 12 roster spots and 11 for some teams, it just makes it that much harder to be a GM in the WNBA because you don't have a margin for error. You don't have a margin for error. 12, that's it. And you know that during the season, injuries are going to happen. And you have to make sure that those 12 players can be able to make some stuff happen, right? This is why the WNBA is so tough. And it's going to be a lot harder for these WNBA teams this year in particular because this is a Eurobasket year. We're going to see mid-season, we're going to see a lot of players leave their teams. We're going to see a lot of players leave their teams to go overseas to play in Eurobasket. And some of them may come back injured. It's just the reality of it. It's just the reality of how things are. Some players may get injured. And yes, CBA. This new CBA that the Players Association and the league are working on right now that will expire. The current CBA will expire after the season's over, but the new CBA has to address this. With the onslaught of injuries that players are getting, with the just the sheer amount of just different things that can happen throughout a year, you do need more wiggle room. Teams do need more wiggle room to be able to have more players. Maybe that's, two players additional for each roster, right? And those two players are considered developmental players that, work with the practice squad and if needed, they slot in and work out with the team. There has to be something. I don't think that the WNBA is going to be able to have a G League. I don't think that's possible. But having additional roster players that can be sort of those development players, players that can help out when others get injured or whatever, just add a little bit more cushioning for these GMs. I think that would be amazing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But truly, the WNBA and the Players Association, they not only, I'm sure, the Players Association, they're very interested in the money aspect and getting players more dollars when it comes to their contracts. However, one thing that needs to be talked about is roster spots. It just has to. It just has to be talked about. All right? So that's the stream. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know. But anyway, that's the stream. I don't have much of anything else to say. Besides that, I do want to thank you all so much for rocking with me. You all have been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's some random talk about Sophie Cunningham in the chat. Why? Y'all know Sophie Cunningham is what is she, a black belt? Hey, I wouldn't want to get into a fight with her. I would not want that to happen to me. All right, I would not want that to happen to me. Anyway, y'all have a good day. I got to go to church. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right. Yeah. Nothing else to say. Have a good day. Be respectful. Be kind to people. Tell somebody that they matter because they truly, truly, truly do. And if no one has told you that you matter, let me tell you right now, you matter. You are important, and I'm happy that you are on this earth. Be kind, be respectful, and make this day the best day of your life because you only get one life. So you might as well do your best with it. All right? Y'all have a good day. I love y'all. And I will see y'all in the next one. See y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. Also, hit that like. Oh, y'all wait out. Hit that subscribe. We got 700 people in the chat, but we only have 300 likes. Can we get that up to 700, 500, 600, whatever? Can we get that number higher? That would be awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see y'all in the next one. Uh-oh, my browser went away. Okay. See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.